This is the first video for Outlook 2013, and in this video I want to talk about how to set up Outlook and also how to configure it to do a little bit things. And I'm hoping in 2 to 3 videos I'm going to try to cover all the important things you need to know about Outlook, and if you know this you'll be able to pass the exams also, and as I'll try to cover all the different topics. Now you have to have Microsoft Outlook installed on your computer. It doesn't come with it, and even when you buy Microsoft Office, the basic version doesn't come with Outlook. You have to buy it separately for $130 or so, or you may need to get the Microsoft Office Professional. And when you start Microsoft Outlook, it will ask you a question to set it up to be used with an email address, because Outlook is used to check your emails and reply to people and also set up your calendars and everything, and this is what it is used for in a work environment. At work you will not need to worry about it. Somebody will do this for you. At home, if you start Outlook, the first question it will ask you is, do you want to create an email account? If you say yes, the next question will be asking you this question here, where it says, do you want to add an email account, which will be saying yes. So I'll click next. And right now I did a test with my Gmail account. So if you put in your name, your email address and your password, and then you hit next, it will set it up everything for you, and it will set up in what is known as an IMAP. So you could even use your Yahoo and Hotmail and it will do that for you, that too. And IMAP means that when I'm checking my emails on my smartphone and I delete something, and when I come home, even at home it will be not there, it will be deleted. Or if I create a folder and I was checking my Outlook on 2 different computers, all the changes that I make on one will be on the other, and on the other will be on, so they'll be synced across. So that's what IMAP does. There is another setting called POP, by which what happens is, if I set up POP, that means if I check something or delete something on this, or create a folder on my computer, it may not show up on the other computer because it won't be synchronized, but all my emails are being downloaded completely on my computer here with POP. So a lot of people tend to use the IMAP now because they like to be synchronized. And you can always do a Google search for Yahoo Outlook settings or Gmail Outlook settings, and then go to the links, and you can even look at it and see all the options from here. So if I say I wanted to create POP, then it will give you all this detail as to how you should set up in Gmail first, because if this step is not done, you may not be able to check it with your Outlook. And then you choose Outlook, and then I say OK, confirm my settings. So there, these are all the information you will be needing if it doesn't work at this step, because then you'll need to put your name, email address, password, and then you'll have to go to the manual setup and then click next, and then I'll say I'm on a POP and then click next, and then you have to start filling in the information like your name, email address, do you want a POP or an IMAP, and then you gotta start putting in where are you getting your emails from. So the incoming mail server, so in Gmail you see they have that pop.gmail.com. I know for Hotmail you will not need to do this, it should work, and there's a lot of other information like outgoing emails, so that will go into the outgoing email part. Put your email address again and the password, and then you'll be able to go to the more settings, because they'll tell you that you need to make some changes in there too, and they give you instructions up here also. So those are the things you will need to do that, and I'm just going to quickly fill this up. I'll pause the video. So I've just filled it up with some dummy information, some dummy, so that you can even test it if you wanted to. But I wanted to show this more settings. When you go to it, you can go to the outgoing server, and you'll see that Gmail will be telling you that your outgoing server uses authentication. So then you're going to choose that, and then they want you to change some numbers. So then you'll have to go to the advanced, and then here you're going to change the numbers. And because if I'm using this as a POP, which is what I set up, then I can tell it that leave a copy of my message on the server, so that I'll have a copy in my Gmail account and also my computer, and then I can tell it to remove it from the server after certain days, or I can say don't remove it, only remove it when I delete things. And also you'll be putting the numbers here, whatever they want you to use, which is up here they're saying 587 for that, or if you're using SSL 465, so that means if I say this, then I have to change this to 465. I think that would be for the SMTP, that is 995, so that's fine. And if I use SSL, this should be 465. So it's very picky. You need to make sure that all the information matches, otherwise things will not work. Now in my case, I have a business email service provider, so for that I have to check with my service provider to get all this information. You cannot just use the Gmail information, it has to be specific to that one. So I'm just going to hit cancel. I already have an account in here. So this is the first time when you do it, you will need to do that. Or if you don't want to use it with an email, you can just say no to it. And if you want it, you can download a trial version of Outlook for 30 days from Microsoft's website. And if you wanted to, once you've added one email account, the benefit of Outlook is that you can have multiple emails all in one place. So if I had a Yahoo account, Hotmail account, Gmail account, and something else, I can have all 4 email in one Outlook, so I can check it in one place rather than going to all the different websites to check it. So if you wanted to add more, you click on File, and then you click on this Add button here, and then you just start filling in the information, and that's it. And then you will be able to add your second one too. Okay. And we'll just talk about some more options that you can use to make it look like the way you want it. So the first thing I want to talk about is that you need to start understanding the ribbon system, and these words are called the tabs: folder, view, home. And if ever you make a mistake of double clicking on them, you'll find that the ribbons go into hiding. So if you make that mistake, double click again so that the ribbons are always there. You never need to click double, you just click it one time. Okay. And as soon as you do that, all your emails will start to come. So I have a test account that I've created with my business, and all the emails will start to show up right away. And so up here on the top, this is known as the quick access toolbar. So you can customize it, and what's the benefit there is I can put all the important buttons that I use a lot right there. So if I click it, I can say that, you know what, up here put a find a contact option so that I can search for somebody. I can put an option for empty my deleted items. So because when I hit delete on an email, it is not really gone from my server. I'll have to empty the deleted items, so that will mean remove it from there also, because when you delete something from here, it will go into your deleted items. So it will be sitting here in the deleted items, and then once you delete it from there, then it will be really gone from your computer. Okay. All right. And the other thing you can do here is you can also add more commands. And then you can say that, you know what, I want the delete options here. So I'm adding it. So it's only showing me the popular commands, and you can change this to all commands. So now this is showing me all the commands that are available in Outlook, and I can add it to my shortcut list. It's really helpful. And you can also change this to the home command or the send and receive tab. So whatever buttons you need, you just put it there so that it's easily accessible all the time, that you use a lot. A lot of those buttons are here too, but you can put some other ones there too, and you can always go back and remove it. Now you can customize these tabs if you wanted to. Now to do that, you'll have to click on the File button, and then you go to Options. And when you do that, this is where you come. And this is the place where you can make a whole lot of changes. Like you can choose the color format, like you can make it lighter color, that's the background on the top. And you can also put whatever colors you want, like calligraphy or whatever. So if I choose that and I click OK, so now we see it's got a white background on it. So if I want, I can go back to File, Options, and then I can make it something darker shade. So you can change that. You can put your username here, and if I go to this Customize Ribbon option, now this is where I can customize the ribbon to add my own tabs here, and this is good in all 2010 and 2013 Office in Word, Excel, everywhere. So I can add my own buttons here. So if I click here and I choose new tab, and I can click it and I can rename it, and I can say I'll give it my name, and then there is a group here, so I can call it whatever group I want to call it, and I can even add some more groups there and then rename it, and I can even give some kind of a logo if I want it. Now once I've added the groups, now I can start adding. So I say address book, add it to group A, manage rules to group A. In group B I can add some other things. So these are now added here, and if I click OK, now you see there is this folder, this tab called Amir, and these are my group A buttons and group B buttons. So this is really useful so that you don't have to go around different places. You can create your own tab with all the important buttons in it, which will make your life very easy to find those buttons. And I can always go back to File, Options, and then from here I can go back to Customize Ribbons, and I can delete them. I can even reset the whole thing. You can even export it. If you were going to be taking to a different computer and you were moving, you can export it. And if you didn't want it, you just remove the check mark if you don't want to see it. And you can move it up and down the orders also. So a lot of settings you can do all in that options, file options. And I'll talk about some more things which are available here. If I go to the mail option, I can set up my signatures. So if I click it, so I already have some in there, but I'll just delete them so I can recreate it. So if I want to create a new signature, I click on new and say I want to call this my default, which is all the time. And here I can put my signature. And if I put my website, I can highlight it and I can put a hyperlink on it using that button with the link on it, so that people can click on it. And you can also use this button here to add a picture or a logo of whatever you want to do, and you can hit save now. Now the new message, it says the default signature will be there. I can even set it for replies, but if I wanted a different setting for replies, I can click on new and say I can give it a name, reply, or you can have a personal signature or a business signature if you want it. And now I can have my reply signature, and the companies usually will tell you what your signature should be because a lot of them have confidentiality notice and things like that. And I can choose the reply as my reply options, and I can click OK. So I've added two different signatures which will be available when I reply to people or when I write a new message. And if I scroll down, you'll find there's a lot of settings that are available here. So anytime you had a question about changing the overall look of Outlook or overall settings, this is where you will come. And you'll also find some settings regarding tracking, because sometimes when you get an email where the other person wants a receipt back saying that you read the email, you can decide whether you want to send it automatically, always send, or never send, or do you want to be asked, so that you will decide whether you want to allow it or not. Okay, so there's a lot of settings here. If I go to calendar, I can choose what days of the week I work, what is my start time, what is my end time, and there's a lot of settings available here. You can set your time zone. And if you look here on the top, here it says add holidays. So if I click it, I can actually tell it that add the holidays for United States, or I'm in Canada, so I can choose Canada and I click OK. Already installed. I'll say yes just to make sure. So all the calendars of those holidays have been added to my calendar automatically, so I don't have to add it. So again, settings for things here, you can do it here. I can set my weather to Celsius and I can click OK, but I'll just show you some more things. People, that is your contacts. How would you like your contacts to be? Some people like it last name and first name. I like to have it first name and last name filed as. tasks. So there are some settings regarding the task option. Languages, you can add some other languages so that it will be available to you. And in the advanced, you'll have some options about customizing the way things look. And we back to customizing ribbon and the quick access toolbar, which is your shortcut on the left hand side on the top. So you can come to that from this place too, and I can click OK. So this is what it looks like with the options, and now I can customize the way things look here. So I like to see my email and then the reading option on this side. So if you go to the view, this is where you will control that. So in the view, there is this option called reading. So I can have the reading on the bottom so that when I click on an email, I will see the message on the bottom. So I don't have to double click on it, which I can double click it. Now I can read the message and I can delete it, I can reply to them, I can forward it. So all the things we do in emails, it's all available here. Or I can just click on the message and from the home, I can choose to reply, delete, forward the emails. Okay. In the view, there is also an option called to-do bar. So you can have the to-do bar on, like for calendars. So you see, now I can see my calendar on the right hand side and also my appointments. I can also see the tasks, and I can also see a people section so that I can search for people right in here, and I can also add them to my favorites list if I was using it for whatever reason. Okay. And there's more option for people stuff. And the folder pane is this left hand side section here, which I can have it off. So you see there is no folder, which is your navigation option under view, and I would rather have it normal. Or you can also have it minimized. So it's there, you just have to click it to bring it back to look at it. I prefer it in the normal mode, which you can also use this arrow. Okay. Now even if I didn't have the reading option, I turn it off. In the view, I can have message preview. So I can say, you know what, show me 3 lines of the messages. And for this folder or all mailbox, I'll say this folder, which is the inbox, which is where all my emails will come. So then, if I had more than 1 line, because I haven't typed, I'll see more lines right here. So I get an idea what it is before I try to open it. So that is all under view. So anytime you have a question, you can do that. And you can also do show as conversation, so that when you start having back and forth emails, if you don't turn the show as conversation on, each and every one will be as one email. If I turn on show and conversation, so that means if there was a thread, it will all be part of one message rather than multiple. And again, I can choose how do I want to do this. So I like to have it as show as conversation so that I don't have multiple emails with the same communication going on. And under view, I can see my messages by date. I can choose it from, so you see it changes from to, or I can set it back to date. Or you can just start clicking on the headings here on the top. So it will sort it by those things. When was it received? Or you can reverse the process. Show me the old ones first and then the new ones. And you can also set it by from, who. So you can change it right from here or from the view option. And there is the search option here, so you can search for any of your emails by whatever topics, people, or just the words, keywords. You can search for them right in here if you wanted to. Okay, so I can come back to home. Okay. So this is some of the options of setting things up for your Outlook. And whenever you wanted to check for new emails, you can press this button here, send and receive. It tries to do it every 15 minutes by default, but if you are waiting for a message, you can always hit that button here. Or in the home tab, you'll see a button here, send receive. So you can even press that if you wanted to. Or if I point to it, it said the shortcut is the F9 key on the keyboard. So let's talk about how do you create a new email. So to do that, you just click on the word new email, or from the new items, email messages. So if I click it, and then I can put the person's email address. So whatever the person's email address is, I can put it there, at whatever. And then the CC is a carbon copy if you're sending that email to somebody else. And also BCC, which is blind carbon copy. So that means if I put email addresses here, so if I put, say, John Doe whatever, that means if this person gets an email, they will not come to know I send an email to John also. So that's the idea of BCC. And you see my signature showed up on the bottom. It's already sitting there. And I can change the signature from this button here and change it to the reply signature. Or I can highlight it and then just delete it. So you can do that if you wanted to. And in this message itself, there's a lot of things. I'll just talk about a few right now, and I'll talk about more in the next video. Under options, sometimes you will not see the BCC, so you may need to press the BCC so that it will show it. Otherwise, it doesn't show it to you. And the reason why you see this color is because I've applied some themes to it. So, as I pick it, it starts to change the fonts and things. And if I don't want the page color, I can just say no color. So that it's a completely blank email and there is nothing in it. And from the message tab here, I can attach a file if I wanted to. I can also go to the insert tab and then I can attach a file from here. I can also insert tables and I can also insert pictures. So when I insert a picture, it will show up right in the message. They won't have to open it. And there's a lot of things you can add here, like shapes, smart arts, hyperlink. So if I had a website link, I can make it hyperlink. If I wanted to, I can add date and time. So it's a lot of things. If you learn this in Word, a lot of the options are available here. So once I've done it, I can type my message. I can put a subject, always important, and then I can hit send. And that's it. If I don't hit send, I can always save it and then close this so that it's sitting in the draft, because then I can double click on it, make the changes, and then send it when I'm ready to send it. Okay. So that's it for this video. In the next video, we'll talk more about how to create contacts, calendars, tasks, and also more to do with email messages.